So I have taken the opportunity to teach creativity when I train mediators in mediation, young mediators and upcoming lawyers and all of that. I said, what a great point. We don't discuss that. I think we don't hone in on the skill of creativity that much in day-to-day life, in colleges and universities and so. So I would love to hear a little more on that, because I do believe this idea of creativity is what makes us get out of our preordained beliefs. And even though culture brings us values, customs, traditions, and systems with it, it also limits us in terms of thinking. So as we say in English, thinking outside the box. So, sir, please comment a little more on creativity.
See, let me put it this way. Each human mind is a creative mind.
I like that, yes.
But how do you channelize it? How do you come out with your creativity as such? Now, I as a teacher throughout practically, what creativity is involved in this process? I ask myself.
Yes, sir.
I'm normally in the habit of getting up early in the morning, do my reading and writing in the morning as such.
Yes, sir.
Believe me, I do my writings in the morning and I come out in such a way which I would have never thought of. That's my creativity.
Great.
I mean, you feel at a later stage, how did I come across, put this in some manner?
Absolutely.
It is something fresh.
Very good point, sir. And sir, reading also leads to creativity.
Absolutely.
Because I'm writing my book, and one of the tips I've received from other authors who are way more successful than I am in terms of authoring many books is read before you write, even on a daily levels.
Absolutely. And then, having read, you don't have to copy.
Absolutely.
You have to
Create.
you create your thought process out of that reading.
So someone was saying the most blissful, perhaps, moment in a man's life or a woman's life is when they create something. I was reflecting on that because I'm truly happy the day I write a nice chapter or give a new lecture or do a mediation where I can help someone resolve difficult conflict, because that's pushed me to create something new.
Absolutely. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. For instance, my writings,
Ji, sir.
I'm not computer savvy.
Yes.
I do my writings in hand.
Which may be much better than writing on computer for all the reasons you and I both know why. Absolutely. So maybe we all have to go back to pen and paper, sir. Yes.
When I was writing my chapters for my doctoral work,
Ji, sir.
my supervisor, Professor Shibdyal, about whom I was talking, he was away to Zambia as a visiting professor.
Yeah.
Now, I would write my chapter in hand. I didn't know typing. And I would keep a carbon copy with me when I'm sending that chapters by post.
Wow.
Lest it is lost in post transit, I would have at least the carbon copy
with yourself
of that. That's the way we get done. My Tauji was a mathematician. Would you believe he did his doctoral work way back in 1933? He was at Hoshiarpur, which is a very backward area in Punjab, and particularly at that time.
Yes, sir.
It's a story worth sharing.
Absolutely.
He was teaching in a college which was intermediate, which means up to class 12. Now you can imagine what level. And he's thinking of doing his doctorate in mathematics. See, no journals, nothing of the kind available as such. And the difficulty which he had, Punjab University in Lahore at that time, he put in his application for registration for doctoral work. The university would allow your application if the university gives you a supervisor to supervise your work. The university had no one who could supervise his work. He had none. He kept on doing the work. He was fed up that the university is not responding. He submitted his thesis, handwritten thesis. Now the university had no option. They appointed 2 professors of Cambridge University to evaluate his thesis. Thesis was sent. And the report is that his work is far above the PhD level, the doctoral level.
Wow.
Now, sitting at a remote, backward place with no literature available, is creativity of his mind. You know, human mind is a creative.
And we, sir, I think we bury it. We bury that creativity with our own mental walls.
Blocks, absolutely mental blocks. You know, we don't ventilate our creativity.
We don't exercise it enough so it grows. Everything has to be exercised so to grow it as a muscle. And creativity, those are, it was fascinating. We were sitting in Delhi right now, and Indians are so known for their creativity. The question is, we could be creative on how to drive on a road. You got to be creative to drive on a road in India. But why do we stop at that? For example, as you and I were discussing with Justice Lokur just a few minutes ago at lunch, that Justice Lokur, why has mediation not taken a super strong hold yet, especially in commercial cases in India? And Justice Lokur gave us a good answer that we have some blocks. We have some people who are blocking. So the same people who are creative on the road and perhaps in their own writing or whatever are not creative when it comes to how do we implement mediation in India.
That's true. Otherwise, I mean, you can always find a way out. That is creativity.
Ji, sir.
That's creativity.
So sorry, please.
For instance, Baitauji didn't stop at doing his doctoral work. When the Punjab University was set up in Chandigarh,
yes, sir,
he came there as the founder, head of mathematics department. And now the mathematics department building has been named after him for his contribution.
Wow.
He went as a visiting professor in University, Arizona. And his portrait has been kept in the Distinguished Visitors Gallery over there. Now, this is creativity.
That is creativity.
I mean, he was a genius so far as mathematics was concerned. Ramanujan was a mathematician, too. He has proved his theories wrong. In mathematics, there's no Nobel Prize.
Yes, sir.
He was one who could get
the Nobel Prize.
So, creativity and happiness. You know, you can't be creative if you're not happy. You have to blend the two together.
Ji, sir.
Shashi Tharoor, for instance.
Ji, sir.
He speaks so well. He writes, and his English is beyond your comprehension, the way he writes. But he's creative. You would never find him in a mood which you could say he's not happy.
Yes.
Always happy. You know, he was addressing a gathering of ladies. One of the ladies asked him, should a person over the age of 50 have a girlfriend? And his answer spontaneous was, 50 are enough.
50 are enough.
He's a creative mind. I mean, whether you like him or not.
Right.
What I'm saying is, happy minds.
Sir, happy minds are creative minds. And don't you think, sir, sometimes to be creative, I mean, we are, as you said, human mind is, we are creative when we have no other option but to be creative. So creativity could be a product of necessity. In other words, sir, if we perceive that we must be creative, then we can be creative.
See, it's not that it is necessary, then only you are could get there. I would not subscribe to that. It's not necessity. He is to mind working. And you always would feel good when you come out with something new as such. Let me make a sentence. You know, normally it's said constitutions have a life of 15 years or 16 years. Our contemporary, different countries, that is what is. In my book, what I have said is, constitutions are meant to have only birthdays and no death days. Now, I take it as a creative statement. It's a potent statement.
Thoughtful statement.
Thoughtful statement. So, new ideas, new thoughts.
Helps you become and grow as an individual. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So you and I were discussing off camera this idea of this question of language, right? So pehle to, just to say a few words in Hindi, which we both love speaking and we both understand Punjabi as well. So, sir, bataiye, how do you see language and linguistic skills and abilities to be good in any career? How does it translate for you to be a good communicator? Should you believe in one language, multilingual, or does it not matter? Yes, sir.
See, language itself doesn't matter.
Okay, sir.
You may be good in Hindi or Punjabi or in English. All three of them at the same time. You must be good in the language in which you wish to communicate. One.
ठीक है, sir.
Two, language, if you're good at it, you think and you speak.
Flow of time.
You know, you need fuel.
Right.
And language is something which helps you in carrying the light of the lamp continuing as such.
Right, sir.
When you speak. Language is a vehicle.
Right, sir. Tool.
Of your thought process. If you're good in your language, you are able to communicate better. You think and you communicate.
Ji, sir.
The two go together. Let me
Please.
go a step further.
Please.
Justice Krishna's judgments, grantees, very difficult language. I happened to meet him when I was doing my doctoral work. And I asked him, why such language? He says, it's a tool. Once you've learned that tool to use, you can't change yourself. It becomes a part of you as such. It comes spontaneously to me. It is automatic
In you.
in my writings, writing judgments, dictating judgments and writings. When I speak, it's the same thing for that matter. And then I compare him with Lord Denning. Now, Lord Denning, short sentences. How did he come to write short sentences? He was a student of mathematics.
Okay.
Symbols, small symbols.
Okay, sir. Brevity.
And that prompted him to do that.
Absolutely.
No, it was his creativity of mind that he used the language in such a way. You know, you read his judgment. Even the factual canvas, he would capture it, that it would read like a story. It's the magic of language.
Best way to capture attention, storytelling.
You know, that is what fascinated me when I got into it.
Wonderful, sir.
You know, I found each sentence of it is meaningful, wholesome, conveying a lot in short sentence, which long sentences.
Which both of us know is much harder to do. Easier to write long sentences, easier to give long speeches.
Absolutely. You know, judges, without naming, one full page, no comma, no full stop, nothing of the kind. You know, even as a speaker,
Ji, sir.
you pause.
Ji, sir.
You modulate your voice and you do many things as such in order to make it attractive.
Ji, sir.
You are communicating with her. So whatever be the language,
Ji, sir.
be proficient in that.
Beautiful point. You don't have to be super, you have to be trilingual, all of us, but on multilingual, what you can be is if you have one language, use it as a proper tool and know the benefit of being proficient in that language.
Absolutely. You know who is the audience. And you have to write.
Modify according.
According.
So speaking of which, if I can talk a little bit about writing.
Just one thought first.
Sorry, my apologies.
No. In this book, one of the essays, Justice Kanan, he came to the Punjab and Haryana High Court, transferred from Chennai.
He's taken my training in US. I know it.
Acha.
Yes, sir, in San Francisco.
Now, I mean, he has written in that essay,
Ji, sir.
I never thought that such things are captured as such. He says, Dr. Gupta used to appear in my court. His petitions used to be drafted in such a manner, short sentences. I mean, you would only do things and capture such things which are focused on that as knowledge. And the beauty was that he would remain in his arguments confined to his petition.
Ji.
And in spite of the fact that I could be rough with him at times, he would never respond in an aggressive manner in that.
Reciprocate.
He would be firm, but cool and calm. It's the language beauty for that.
Beautiful point. How he utilized the language. So that's a very good point. So language almost can reflect, is of course reflective of your mental state, your emotional state. But you can modify the use of language that even though internally you are a little boiled or angry, but externally the language can be calm and the other person will feel respected.
Similarly, for instance, Lord Denning used to hear on Mondays those petitions which were to be argued by persons in person, not by lawyers in person. On one occasion, a lady argued a matter.
Ji sir.
She was given patient hearing, and finally the petition was dismissed. No, she got furious. There were books lying in front. She picked up a book, threw at Lord Denning. He ducked it, second book came flying across to him. And before he could realize what had happened, the third one came across. He didn't say a word. Didn't ask for,
Punishment.
full harm. So when nothing was happening, she goes up to the exit door, stops there, and says, "How cool, even in a war situation." And she walks out. When she walks out, then Lord Denning says one sentence. I dismissed her petition. She got provoked. And that was the end of it.
End of his communication.
Now, look at the language control.
Sophistication.
Otherwise, hold him or her guilty for contempt, this or that,
What an amazing example, sir. What a great example. So you yourself, you use brevity all the time. I noticed you're very careful with your words. So tell us a little bit more on that.
It comes automatically. Once you learn the art, then you flow with it.
Becomes a habit.
It becomes a part of you. I was referring to Justice Krishna Iyer that when it's a tool that is part of you. When I met Lord Denning, 1978, I was 34 at that time. After that, I wrote my doctoral thesis. And in that process, my thesis is not in the style in which Lord Denning writes, or I have now done that. But after that, all my writings, I could concentrate to begin with short sentences and experienced. And I enjoyed doing that more and more of that as such. See, the article which I shared with you yesterday.
Right.
She's a lady teacher at Punjab University. She had invited me for, when she had read the book, first book of mine, and Raising the Bar. She had done that.
Great title.
It went on for more than an hour, the session as such. And after that, she did this piece which appeared in SSC. Now, in that, what she says is that you interviewed Lord Denning, and after I came back to India, I wrote a piece which appeared in SCC. 1980, we're back. She has done the same thing. I mean, read about me and written about me. And the article in SCC itself, history repeats itself. That's how you put it. You know, I mean, what I'm saying is, your language makes you known for it. I mean, now my writings are being labeled as the writings of Lord Tennyson, for that matter, as such. So language is such a
Beautiful way. Tool as a way of life becomes a way of you, represents you, who you are. So what a great example, especially for my colleagues who want to understand. Even they have a question, how do you deal with a difficult person? You even answered that question, that you deal with a difficult person by remaining who you are, not reacting. Your language sets the standard.
cool. I mean, the language makes all the difference. You know, Justice K.T. Thomas,
Yes, sir.
he was Chief Justice of Kerala High Court and then a judge of the Supreme Court. He was even given Padam Shri or Padam Vibhushan. Criminal law was his forte.
Yes, sir.
We were at a regional conference in Kochi. There were other, the Chief Justice and other former Chief Justices and others were there. And he tells me, Dr. Gupta, your brother was the best Chief Justice of this court. Now, he had himself been the Chief Justice of that court, and he had the humility to say that
Your brother was
the best Chief Justice, the best Chief Justice. And then he caps it, says further, the two brothers talk the same way, write the same way. So language becomes a part of your personality.
So what a great lesson. Thank you. What a great lesson. You mentioned writing. I really want to capture, because I know your time is limited too, so I want to capture writing. You've been a prolific author of books, articles, essays. Even I've got sent the writings you did as opinions in newspapers, leading national newspapers. Thank you, sir, for writing on ADR, among other topics, which happen to be my subject area of expertise on mediation itself, which is remarkable how much the depth and breadth of your expertise is remarkable, sir. Sir, for those of us who are thinking about writing further, are new in our career in teaching or in practicing law, or even being young on bench, what would be your advice to all of us rather, on writing, sir? What is the importance or benefit of writing, or any of that?
See, even research writings must be couched in simple language. What people tell me reading the book, that even the complex situations, the kind of language that you have used in writing conveys those complex situations, makes it so simple.
Right.
So your writing should be such that makes it completely understandable. You know, people should feel, yes, reading it once, it directly goes to your top story. If I use
Understand. A guess into you. It should not scare the reader.
absolute,
Or try to unnecessarily impress them with some fancy words. Keep it simple.
keep it simple.